back with another episode of Workout 101 on workouttrainer.com, right here at The Gym, the personal home fitness studio of Dr. Jim Stepani and myself. So today, we're gonna talk to you guys about behind the back curl, different variations of behind the back curl. Why do you even want to do it? Well, everybody wants to try and get the best looking arms they can, and they always think about hitting biceps, which is great, you know, triceps and other muscles are involved. But remember, specifically with this exercise, why do we even do it? Well, as I've said before, as Jim's even said before, you have two different heads of the biceps. You have both a long head and a short head. The longer head is really responsible for the amount of peak that you're gonna get. Now again, limitations are always gonna be had based on your genetics. So some people, you know, like myself, I don't have the biggest peak. It's because the tendon of my bicep is rather short versus long. Some people have longer tendons where they'll actually get better peak in the muscle when it's contracted. Okay, same thing with calves. You know, people say, I don't have very big calves, but it's because I have a long tendon, which means I can actually have a very big ball at the top here because the tendon, okay? A lot of people who have shorter tendons have the nice well-developed calves that look real big, but they aren't really able to get that peak or that definition or that heart shape in their calf, you know, because their calves are really, you know, they're long and bellied out, where I have very short bellies in my calves. Same thing with the bicep. Shorter tendon, not as much peak. Longer tendon, better peak. However, we do our best with what we have, and the exercises we do can place different loads or emphasis on the muscles. So in this case, behind the back cable curl is one of the ways that we will place more of a load onto the longer head. It's very similar to an incline dumbbell curl. Same principles. So incline dumbbell curl, when we're in this position here, and we were to have dumbbells, what happens is because the position of the arm is behind us, right? And because we're working with gravity, as we lay back here, the arm is not, you know, parallel with our body here, our torso. It hangs back here, all right? Because of that angular change, we're stretching and putting more emphasis onto that long head. So as we curl up and contract here, that long head is really emphasized because of the position of the elbow. So if you notice the position of my arm here, I'm gonna drop this dumbbell. Position of my arm here, if I were to stand up, well, guess what? The only way that we're gonna be able to be in a standing position and get the same movement is with a cable. Now the one difference between a cable and the dumbbell is the cable is going to provide you constant tension throughout the entire range of motion. Dumbbells, you have to maneuver the dumbbells and the maximum amount of the load. So that was a 25 pound, 20 pound dumbbell. That load changes because if at any point that dumbbell doesn't go directly vertical, remember weight and gravity is only measured down. If that load is moved any direction other than straight up or down, the load changes. Well, we overcome that. That's the reason why we have cables. That's the reason why we have bands. So when you're doing a cable curl behind the back, now you can see this angle change, the line of resistance, which is the line that the load wants to travel, and the line of pull, which is the direction I want to travel. If they're consistent with one another, I will always have the maximum amount of constant tension applied to the muscle, which means I'm always getting the force applied to the muscle where I want it. So cables are a great way to really emphasize load placed on certain muscles, in this instance, the long head of the bicep. So what we want to do, execution. The easiest thing to do is get into a staggered stance to where the leg that goes back is the side of this body that you're working, okay? So as you do it, you want a position where your arm is, you know, obviously behind you. You don't want to hyperextend yourself or anything. And you're simply curling up. You're not moving the humerus here. You're not moving the upper part of the arm. You're simply curling up, and it's going to feel like it's a real short range of motion because a lot of times people are used to curling up here and seeing their fist in front of their face. Not so. From here, you're just extending the arm, curling up right to the pocket, right to your hip pocket, up and back. That is a full contraction, and you're placing a lot of load onto the long head. Now, if you're fortunate enough to where you actually get both cables, what I like to do is I like doing it using both arms, okay? And it's just because there is another angular change that happens, okay? So what happens is if I step out here, not only is the load behind me, but it's also to the outside of my body. And I have to shift my elbows out here, okay? And almost curl up and in here. Now, the reason why I like that, let me do a few reps here. The reason why I like that is because that allows me a little bit deeper of a contraction of the bicep than if my arm is positioned out here. I can actually squeeze a little bit higher, get a little bit more range of motion because the angular change of my elbows. So not only are you maximizing the load applied to the long head, but you're increasing the range of motion, which you get more contraction or firing out of the biceps, okay? So to do that again, I'll go over the technique just one more time. If you're fortunate enough to have the cables, now what you don't want to do is you don't want to stand in the center and do this, okay? You want to move ahead far enough to where you don't have too much of an outside point of resistance. You know over here, you want to stand far enough to where yes, your arms do naturally go back, but they're not directly behind you like this, okay? My arms aren't to the side of my body, they're slightly out and I'm curling in. So as I want to step out far enough here, curl in and up right underneath the nipple line is kind of where your aiming point. The humerus, the upper arm, still stays still, it does not rotate. Here, contract. And a lot of times, I like doing alternating arms one at a time. Increases the time under tension, and time under tension increases the load to where it increases the muscle fiber activation to where you're going to be recruiting more muscle fibers. Remember, the longer period that the muscle is stressed for, the better it is for the muscle when it recruits those muscle fibers post-workout. If you guys have any questions about this exercise or anything else, please ask me on the Workout Trainer Facebook page, workouttrainer.com, or anywhere that you see this video. If you want a workout program that utilizes the behind the back cable curl, you should be able to click below. If you're on workouttrainer.com, a workout program will be listed. If you're watching this video, make sure to head over to workouttrainer.com to where links should be provided no matter where this video is played. You guys will have instant access for free to the workout program that I wrote utilizing this movement. Until next time, guys, it's Mike Mackerling coming to you from the gym with another episode of Workout 101. Take care.